American. Sorry about that. I was just singing the Hulk Hogan theme song. Why? Because I'm proud of America. Because of the $600 stimulus bill? Hell no. Because of Earth 2, even though it's made by mostly Australians and Dylan CEO is a South Korean helping him with it. I'm proud of America because one piece of land is 4,716 tiles purchased for $617. Sorry, $617.80. An American bought it. How did he do it? I have no idea. Is it an Easter egg of some sort? I also have no idea. That piece of land is the largest one. Apparently, I'm not sure of the location, but the location of the purchase. But a way you can buy more is if you highlight 750 tiles, and then you highlight another batch, and then when you buy one patch of 750 tiles, and then you buy another patch of 750 tiles, the game will actually connect it and count it as one plot of 1,500 tiles. This guy must have done that several times because it's 4,716 tiles. Now, this is an update for the game because I have a few thousand tiles in Brazil, and they're all right next to each other. I made sure they connect from the north part of the river to the river. I have the river, and then I have the bottom part of the river. That land on the top, land on the bottom. So it is a couple of thousand tiles, but it's all different properties. It's not listed as the same one like this person did. Again, maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's an Easter egg. I have no idea. Now, user 750364 owns 52 properties, okay? And it's made up of 52,840 tiles. So the net worth of him, again, when I go up on the highest worth, we always have that user whatever, you have Nudge, you have Aria Realty. This person's net worth, user 750364, is 144,000, which is insane. And it averages about 1,016 tiles per property. So apparently there's different ways to do this. Whether I did it on my computer at work or on my phone, I was not able to do it. So somebody type in the comments if you can do it. Let me know how, and I'll totally tell everyone. I figure there must be a limit to how high we can build. There is something called air rights and in the real world, and it determines how high someone can build a building. That might be a similar issue here, because here's why I brought it up. If you say boring, I said boring the other day. Boring or digging tunnels underground can be a large way to circumvent that. So if we can't build too high like we want to, we can definitely build layers underground, kind of like ants, kind of like they have these underground civilizations. If anyone's in the Facebook group where we all pretend to be ants, it's really funny. They'll say bite and lift. But also kind of similar to what Elon Musk is doing with his boring company. And he made that specifically so he can bore in tunnels from LA to parts of San Francisco, all over California, just so he doesn't have to deal with the traffic. Because there's only so much you can build as far as highways up, which costs a lot, but boring tunnels is very, very cheap. We should be able to do the same thing in game, I believe. If you can't build too high, they can definitely build layers. So comment down below whether you want to build skyscrapers, highways, monuments to yourself, or do you want to be like King of the Dwarves, like Gimli, who really loves underground? That's a Lord of the Ring reference for anyone who doesn't know, down below. Now, moving on, as far as what I have noticed is that I am getting more tax revenue through, even though I have a bunch of Class 2 tiles in New York, a bunch of Class 1, like several hundred Class 1 tiles in Brazil. I'm getting the most tax revenue right now from Russia. I got the tax revenue today, $2.61 of tax revenue from Russia. Go over a little bit that more in a second. It's possible that corporations like Disney, Netflix, and whatever, they buy huge plots of land in major metropolis areas. Imagine a billboard 750 tiles long with a Disney logo on it. Them either doing stuff for the Ahsoka Tano series, anything on their Disney Plus series. They'll have a bunch of Baby Yoda or Mandalorian stuff, or new movies that are coming out like the MCU, not the Mandalorian Cinematic Universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have a lot that they could put on there, and again, it's just 750 tiles. But I know 100 tiles, or 750 tiles seems like nothing, because everyday people like you and me can get it right now, just because we're, we're in phase 1 still of this game. But once we're deep into phase 2 or phase 3 and we're able to visit other places, or other player spaces that we're going, 100 tiles will seem like a lot just because you're going to have to, in virtual reality, walk all those places, or maybe it'll be like Google Earth where you zoom and enhance. That would be something else. That 100 tiles long is going to be seem pretty far when we're in that virtual world. The developers will be streaming next week, giving us some new info. I'll update you guys about that as I get the info. There's not too much left. Devin Elliott, user Devin Elliott, is apparently the guy on TikTok, the one that went viral. I thought I'd give him a shout out. Hey, you. Jason Taylor says that the most densely populated island on Earth per square meter of land is the country of Malta. And right now, the country of Malta is still class 1. So that might be a good buy. However, be advised, the first 100,000 tiles of any country are class 1, regardless of the size. So whether it's a small country like, say, El Salvador, or a large country like Russia, which covers, I think, 13 different time zones, all of that land in Russia, only 100,000 tiles are class 1. I think people are recognizing this. I think that's why I got the most revenue from Russia, because a lot of people are buying it. So it doesn't say like, oh, well, 10% of a country is class 1, and then, 10 to 30% is class 2. No, it's not like that. It's just 100,000 tiles per country. And if that country is 90,000 tiles, that's it. There's no class 2 or 3. Once it's sold out, there will be no more tax revenue for that country, because right now taxes are paid through the tax sales in that country. If you buy tiles of land, that's where the tax revenue comes from. You're not going to be able to get tax revenue in that way if you're buying a lot of class 1 or class 2 in a small country, because those tiles will run out eventually, and then there's no more. That's not why I've been buying lots of Brazil, Russia, India, but I will start to do more of that, because there's always going to be more land. They're absolutely massive. Countries in Europe like Italy, Russia, France are all very small compared to at least the US, because I think most or all of Europe can fit in. Yeah, definitely all of Europe can fit inside the US, because I've driven from place to place, trained from place to place. If you try to drive somewhere from one part of Texas to the other, it could take you 12 hours. It does the same thing in Pennsylvania. That's a long drive, 6 hours, like 8 to 10 hours in Florida from Key West down to the Panhandle. It's a long time. So just take reference of how big the United States is. Very minimum, at least Texas is. So you're going to have places like Brazil, Russia, India that just aren't going to run out of tiles, same way as the US. Or at least I don't think so. User William Harris, what's up, buddy, asked about the price. He wasn't sure what was driving the price up today, because it's like $7.77 a tile now, where yesterday it was not $7. I woke up this morning, it was $7. But since the volume in the US is small as far as buying tiles today compared to the other days leading up to this, he's just wondering why. And I think he suspects that the price is driven up by something else, something maybe like the developers that have an announcement like, well, it's not just from, the price isn't just from buying land. It could be from this, this, and this. That's what he's speculating, and I think he might be right, but he's right in a certain way. I think just because the buying of unowned tiles, tiles that aren't owned, isn't big right now, there's not a lot of volume, it doesn't mean the buying of already owned tiles from one person to another is down. People have been cross-trading all day ever since this started, saying, oh, you actually got that? Can I buy that? And they'll pay more than the going market rate for that. And that's another reason why it could be going up. But also, just for reference, New York City, a lot of Manhattan specifically is a hot area. A lot of Manhattan, I was going to say most of Manhattan, is bought already. So many people bought Central Park, the areas surrounding it. But don't forget, New York City alone is just made up of 5 boroughs. And the bulk of New York City is not in, Manhattan. Manhattan's just one of the boroughs. But the bulk of New York in general is still unbought. I'm pretty sure I have the most tiles on Long Island, which is very long and is much bigger than New York City. It's not as densely populated, but it's just longer. Upstate New York, I don't know anyone that has bought in upstate New York. but it's not as just letting you know, there's always going to be some unbought territory there. The same goes for places like rural America, like Kansas City is going to be a much more popular place than the rest of Kansas. The rest of Kansas is mostly farmland. Press F in the chat for Superman and Martha. Not really Martha, she survived. But the same with Minneapolis in Minnesota or Chicago in Illinois. There'll just probably be always unbought land available. At least that's my working theory with this. Anyway, guys, the reference link down below. Use my referral code. That is going to be get you 5% off. Link to Patreon as well. Again, I do all this research and everything for free. So just if you don't want to do Patreon, use referral code. If you don't want to use referral code, use Patreon. Something for me, please. For the poor. I'm a poor beggar boy. All right, I love you guys. All right, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Dragon Ball Z gift. America. Love you guys. Bye.